Hello everyone, welcome to MBBS classes. Myself Dr. Hanifa. Today in this video I'll be talking on the evaluation and management of thyroid nodule. The learning objectives for today's class will learn about the different assessment methods for the case of a thyroid nodule, the risk factors for the malignancy in a thyroid nodule that needs to be taken care while evaluating, and we'll also learn about the decision to be taken regarding the nodule which you may encounter, whether the thyroid nodule needs to be operated or to be followed up. Thyroid nodules, they are very much common disease of the thyroid, and they are much more commoner than the inflammatory thyroid disorders. Most oftenly, the thyroid nodules, they are asymptomatic, but even though they are asymptomatic, still they require evaluation because of the risk of the thyroid carcinomas. The patient may have a solitary nodule in the thyroid gland, or the thyroid nodule may be a part of the multinodular disease. Why it needs evaluation? Because even though asymptomatic, the studies, the literature suggests that approximately 5 to 15% of the adult population may have a significant nodule requiring evaluation. So when we evaluate a thyroid nodule, what is the goal of the evaluation? Our goal is to assess the risk. The risk not only associated with the disease, but even the risk associated with the diagnostic test and the possible treatment. Then a proper evaluation, the main goal is to provide the robust cancer screening and to offer surgeries to those patients in whom it is required. Now, coming to the assessment of the thyroid nodule, whether the patient is having a solitary thyroid nodule or it is a part of the multinodular disease, the approach to the thyroid nodule remains the same. And assessment is basically a multidisciplinary approach which involves clinicians, radiologists, pathologists, endocrinologists. So the assessment begins with the clinical assessment. Next is the radiological assessment, functional assessment, and lastly the pathological assessment by doing the fine needle aspiration cytology. So it is the cumulative result of all these domains of assessment that helps the clinicians to assess the risk of malignancy involved in the nodule and to decide the further management. Now coming to the clinical assessment of the thyroid nodule. It begins with the proper history taking of the patient and the clinical examination. Now, some important clinical variables must be considered while evaluating a case of thyroid nodule. So, to name them, the first is the age. It is seen that both younger patients less than 30 years and the elderly more than 60 years, they have the increased risk of the nodule to be a cancerous nodule. And it is seen that among these two extreme age groups, younger patients, if there is a thyroid nodule, they have the twofold increased risk of cancer. And in the younger patients, most of the thyroid carcinomas is found to be papillary CA thyroid. This is as per the literature. And in some of the cases, they may have a very aggressive histological subtypes. Now, next, the clinical variable is the gender. It is seen that if the thyroid nodule is present in a male, then you have to pay more attention. The reason is the rate of thyroid cancer in the male is double in comparison to the females. Then change in voice, hoarseness of voice, then the presence of a thyroid nodule is always should be taken care because it is highly suspicious to be the possibility of malignancy. If there is a history of ionizing radiation during the childhood, or if there is a family history of MEN2 syndrome or medullary carcinoma in the first degree relatives, then these kind of patients are at the higher risk of developing malignancy. While examining the patient, if you find that the patient is having the palpable cervical lymph nodes, or if there is any fixity to the surrounding structures, then definitely they are highly in favor of malignancies of the thyroid. But if the case is something like this, with a proven mass arising from the thyroid gland with ulcerations and showing adherence, then this is a definite malignancy of the thyroid gland area. Now coming to the radiological assessment of the thyroid nodule, the most commonly which is part of the routine assessment is the ultrasound of the neck, which is routinely performed in a patients with a thyroid nodule, and CT scan and MRI may be required in some of the cases. Now coming to the ultrasound of the neck. This ultrasound of the neck, it is the first line recommended imaging modalities for the thyroid nodules. It is beyond just describing the sonographic details of the thyroid nodules. The ultrasound of the neck, it improves the overall sensitivity, specificity, and even the accuracy of the fine needle aspiration if we compare the findings with the palpation guided FNSE. Moreover, it is an excellent tool for sampling the specific suspicious areas of the thyroid nodules, like, say, for example, the solid part of the nodule. And the ultrasound of the neck, when the reporting is done, according to the British Thyroid Association, an ultrasound classification is developed for guiding the clinicians to perform the FNSE in suspicious or unequivocal cases. Now, let us see the ultrasound features of a thyroid nodule which may be associated with the malignancies. There are many points which must be taken care during the evaluation during the ultrasound. First comes the margin. So if a thyroid nodule has a blood margin or the ill-defined margin with an absent or the avascular halo, then it is going in line of the malignancy. The shape. If the shape of the thyroid nodule is irregular, it is spherical or tall, and whenever we are looking at the shape, the diameters of the thyroid nodules are also considered. So the anteroposterior diameter and the transverse diameter are measured, and the ratio between the anteroposterior and the transverse diameter, if it is more than 1, then it goes in favor of malignancy. The presence of solid components inside the thyroid nodules, the presence of microcalcification, hypoechoic pattern of a thyroid nodule, reduced elasticity, and the presence of cervical lymph nodes, they are strongly the ultrasound features which suggest malignancy in a case of nodule. And if the ultrasound feature is suggesting like that, then the clinicians, as a clinician, we have to order or we have to request our pathology colleagues to go for the FNSE of the nodule, and that should be ultrasound guided. Now let us see these are the two images of the ultrasound of the thyroid nodules. In the left image, you can see that it is a fairly well-defined echogenic nodule, and the surrounding is the hypoechoic halo, and the central part is the solid area. And here we can see the some microcalcifications. So the presence of solid component which is forming the majority of the thyroid nodule, then it is suspicious for malignancy, and this case will be asked for to undergo fine needle aspiration cytology. But here on the other hand, on the right hand, if you see that this thyroid nodule, it is purely cystic in nature. It is a cystic nodule with multiple septae and few debris we can see. So if we get a cystic nodule, then this type of nodules we have to follow up. The patient has to be on regular follow-up with the regular ultrasound done at 6 months period. So the FNSE is needed in this case, whereas the patient needs to be followed up in case of a cystic nodule. Now, coming to the CT scan or the MRI in the evaluation of thyroid nodule, it is not recommended for all the cases, but now where to advise? It is advised in cases of well-differentiated thyroid carcinomas if there is a clinical suspicion of extrathyroidal extensions, and in those cases, when we are advising CT scan or the MRI, it is always with contrast. And just remember one thing, in these cases, in case of thyroid swellings where you are suspecting the malignancy of the thyroid, iodinated intravenous contrast should be avoided because it hampers with the post-operative management of the patients. Then the third type of assessment of the thyroid nodule is the functional assessment. Functional assessment means the biochemical assessment of the thyroid hormones. We see for the values of thyroid stimulating hormones, free T3, T4, thyroglobulin, antithyroglobulin, and antiperoxidase antibodies. So when we see the TSH, we have to see whether it is suppressed or the patient is euthyroid. So in cases of suppressed TSH, it signifies that the patient it might be having a functional nodule. So in that case, it should be confirmed by doing the radioiodine uptake scan. The radioiodine uptake scan, it helps to classify the nodule into the hot nodule and the cold nodule, and as we know that the chances of malignancy If there is a hot nodule, the chances of malignancy are very minimal, whereas a cold nodule is always suspicious to be malignant. Then we can also go for 18-FDG PET scan, and the presence of 18-FDG metabolism on the PET scan, it reflects the increased risk for cancer. Now the last assessment, which is a crucial diagnostic test for the evaluation of thyroid nodule, is the fine needle aspiration cytology, or it is in short, it is also called as the FNSC. It is minimally invasive, low risk procedures, and it is, you can say that it is the backbone for the diagnosis of a thyroid nodule. And recommendation is that the FNSC should always be guided by ultrasound. So what do you think that determines the referral for the FNSC? Is it the size of the nodule that determines whether the FNSC needs to be done or not, or the age or the gender of the patients, whether it is the choice of the doctor, the ultrasound findings, or the thyroid function test? So we have seen that these are the various factors which we have to consider while assessing the patients, but it is the mainly the ultrasound and the TSH which determines whether the FNSC needs to be done or not. If the TSH is normal or elevated, in that case go for an ultrasound, but if the TSH is depressed or suppressed, in that case go for the radioiodine nuclear scan. And after looking into the reports of the ultrasound sonographic features of the nodule and the TSH, if the thyroid nodule is there of size 1 to 1.5 centimeter in a euthyroid patients, they should be considered for the FNSC. When we are talking about the FNSC of the thyroid nodule, we must be knowing a little bit about the Bethesda system. So Bethesda system, it is the classification system for reporting the thyroid FNSCs, and it was developed in the year 2007 by the National Cancer Institute. This classification system was named as the Bethesda system for reporting the thyroid cytopathology. Before the Bethesda system was introduced, there was no uniformity in reporting of the thyroid nodules by the different pathologists. So there was loss of clarity of the information and lot of confusion for the clinicians. So for developing the uniform terminologies, you can say, to resolve the clarity issue which was present, like from the pathology to the clinicians, for the clarity of the communication, the Bethesda system was introduced. And nowadays all the thyroid FNSCs, they are reported as per the Bethesda system. So according to the Bethesda system, the thyroid cytopathology is reported from, you can say, from Bethesda 1 to Bethesda 6. So these, depending on the cytological features, it is reported. Bethesda 1 is non-diagnostic or unsatisfactory. Bethesda 2 is benign type. Bethesda 3 is little bit dicey. It has two names: atypia of undetermined significance or follicular lesion of undetermined significance. Bethesda 4 is follicular neoplasm or suspicious for a follicular neoplasm. Bethesda 5 is suspicious for malignancy, and Bethesda 6 is malignant. So why it is important for the clinicians? So these are the cytological image. These are the images of the different category. This is the category 1, category 2. This is category 3. In this class, we'll not go into the details of the Bethesda system. I'll be taking a separate class for the Bethesda system classification. And this is category 4, category 5, and category 6. I was talking why it is important for the clinicians, because according to the Bethesda system, according to the Bethesda classification of the FNA, the clinicians, they determine their management, because the risk of the malignancy is different in the different subcategories. It is, you can see that in the Bethesda 1 and Bethesda 2, the risk of malignancy is very less, from 0 to 3 and from 1 to 4. But again, if it comes as Bethesda 3, then the risk of malignancy is high, of 5 to 15%. If it is Bethesda 4, it is 15 to 30%. And there is no question, if it is suspicious for malignancy, the risk is even more higher, 60 to 75%. In malignancy, though, it is almost sure only. So now let's see the different risk stratifications or the risk features for the presence of malignancy in a thyroid nodule. So we may say that there are some low risk features and some are high risk features. So among the low risk features, just to recapitulate, the females young patients, size of the nodule, if it is less than 1 centimeter, if there is a stable size of the nodule over a certain period of time, presence of prior benign FNC, and if it is a part of a multinodular disease, absence of any local symptoms, and suppressed TSH, these are the low risk features for malignancy. On the other hand, if the patient with the thyroid nodule is a male or less than 30 years or more than 60 years of age, if the nodule is very hard in consistency, solid mass, it may be small or large, which is rapidly increasing in size, with the presence of high risk ultrasound findings, as we have already seen, if the previous FNC of the nodule was showing previous thyroid cancer, presence of palpable lymphadenopathy, and evidence of local invasions. These are all features, high risk features for the malignancy. And moreover, from the history, if there is a history of ionizing radiation in the childhood and the family history of medullary carcinoma thyroid or in the first degree relative, always considered as the high risk features for the presence of malignancy. Now, before we move on to the management of the thyroid nodules, there are some important points. The first is the FNC. It plays a major role in differentiating the different pathological subtypes. In cases of Bethesda 1 and Bethesda 2, the continued ultrasound surveillance is needed at regular intervals, but recommendation is there when the patient is on regular follow-up. If there is a significant change in the size of the nodule, like more than 50% of the volume or more than 20% change in the two dimensions, then in such cases, the FNC should be considered. So when we are evaluating a patient, the first assessment we do is the clinical evaluation. If the symptoms are suggestive of thyrotoxicosis, then definitely we always go for the thyroid function test. We assess the serum TSH. When the serum TSH is low, that means it is suppressed, we have to advise the patient to undergo radioiodine scan. But if the patient is having normal TSH, that is patient is, and or if it is high TSH, then in such case, advise the patient to go for FNC of the thyroid nodule. On the other hand, if the patient clinically is looking to you euthyroid or hypothyroid, then again, same thing, we have to advise serum TSH. And again, if it is normal or high TSH, then go for FNC. Now, FNC, it is reported from Bethesda 1 to 6. So, this is the Bethesda 2. You can see this is the benign. If it comes as benign, keep the patient on follow-up. If it is malignant, no question, operate the patient. Now, confusion occurs when there is a report comes as non-diagnostic. What you will do in that case? Then advise the patient to undergo repeat FNC. But if it is persistently non-diagnostic, we have to correlate with the TSH levels. If in the FNC it is neither benign nor malignant, but it is showing lots of cellularity, then we have to review the TSH level. If it is low, then go for the radioiodine scan. But if it is normal or high, then we ask the patient to get operated. So we know that if the radioiodine scan is showing hot nodule, that is a hyperfunctioning nodule, it is follow up and we give therapy. And if the TSH is low but the nodule is hypofunctioning, so if you see that the TSH report came as low, we advise radioiodine scan, and it is showing hypofunctioning, that means the nodule is not secreting the hormones, that in that case hypofunctioning nodule, we have to operate that nodule. So this is about the evaluation and management of the thyroid nodules. With this, I come to an end of this video. Thank you for watching this video in MBBS classes.